Oh, make it make sense. Yuki Tsunoda injustice, that's what the vast majority of the F1 community is saying. Why didn't Yuki get the seat? Well, I think this causation pie is multifaceted, and over the next 8 minutes or less, we will discuss it, unpick it, diagnose for it even. I don't know how I feel. All I know at this point is that the past 24 hours has been actually absolute chaos. Yuki Tsunoda fans are destroying one Liam Lawson. Social media AB. I don't think he necessarily deserves that. Does the Kiwi? But again, people are going to voice their opinions, and the F1 community is going to F1 community. What else would we expect at this stage? Ted Kravitz on the Sky F1 podcast even, has said the following. He thinks it's a wrong decision for Red Bull to appoint anybody not named Carlos Sainz or Alex Albon, for he says that Alex Albon has in his contract a clause which would allow him to null and void all activity with Williams if indeed an opportunity were to come up with the balls that are red. That Carlos Sainz too, he would have been perfect. Brilliant driver, one of the best performances in 2024, some people said, and that would make a lot of sense. But we know already that the conversation that Red Bull was having in real time was one of either Liam Lawson or Yuki Tsunoda. Liam Lawson got the job. Christian Horner's come out and said some things, and Honda too reacted to it. We know that Yuki Tsunoda is Honda's guy. 10 million a year is the discount that some are saying Red Bull get on engines because of their relationship with Yuki Tsunoda. But that relationship comes to an end as at 2026, when Honda will be providing engines to the Aston Martin green machine. Does that have something to do with it, ladies and gentlemen? Is it a short-term thing? Do they realise, Red Bull, that they can't give Yuki Tsunoda that seat because it will be something of a treasonous relationship? Indeed, bigging up a Honda racing driver when they no longer have that engine manufacturer relationship. If we get back to brass tacks and think about the numbers for a second, because some would argue that it's a meritocracy in F1, that was indeed driving Red Bull's decision to promote Liam Lawson. But I would contend as follows. That's bull feathers. F1 baloney. Absolutely. They would be drinking from the fountain of unreason to say that. Here's why. Of the 5 times when Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson finished a race in 2024, 4 of those times, no less, Yuki Tsunoda finished ahead of the Kiwi Liam Lawson. Of the 6 qualifying sessions that they competed in the same machinery, one Yuki Tsunoda beat Liam Lawson all 6, and that has to matter. Because we know that the F1 community, one thing that they don't like nor tolerate is injustice. And what is that if not perceived injustice? If you want somebody now, best driver then, almost beyond doubt, is that fella, the Japanese, called Yuki Tsunoda. However, Christian Horner's combated that. His counter is as follows. If the time delta between Liam Lawson, who's done a net 11 races in Formula 1, and Yuki Tsunoda, who's vastly more experienced, if the delta between the two aforementioned is small, then what does that say about Liam Lawson's uppermost performance curve once he fulfills on his potential? Christian Horner's argument is that means then, again, if you normalise for the experience difference between the two, that Liam Lawson will one day be a better driver than Yuki Tsunoda. It is hard, ladies and gentlemen, to argue against that. He's forward-looking. The forecast is focused on Yuki Tsunoda as versus Liam Lawson. Not now. This isn't a spot trade. This is a future. We're thinking about where they will be in the next 24 or 36 months. And of course, that always has to be the diagnosis. That has to be the focus. Here's what Christian Horner said. He said of one Yuki Tsunoda that, listen, we can't keep hold of him forever. Of course, we're sorry that he didn't get the opportunity, and we understand, we are acutely aware even, that if we're not able to provide the opportunity for Yuki, I quote, being in all honesty in 2025, does it make sense to keep him. You can't have a driver in the support team for 5 years. You can't always be the bridesmaid. You've either got to let them go at some point and look at something different. I've spoken with Yuki, said Horner. He said that he was enjoying having some Wagyu beef while he was on his timeout, and his motivation was to demonstrate that he warrants the opportunity. Lest we forget that Yuki Tsunoda, when talking about the decision, potentially, that if Red Bull were to pick anybody not named Yuki Tsunoda, then that would be a very weird decision. He thinks that in real time, spot trade, he absolutely has the time in hand, the delta, plus the mental fortitude and temperament to make his case over one Liam Lawson. And temperament ultimately comes into this, right? Because we know for the longest time, the doubt, the principal doubt from the heads of at Red Bull was all about Yuki Tsunoda's temperament, that they didn't need another destabilising factor, and they saw Yuki Tsunoda as nothing if not a hot head. Helmut Marko said that on a gazillion occasions, and Christian Horner has alluded to that, not least in his latest statements on the matter. Here's what he said to one of the goatiest F1 journalists to have ever goated. For we know that all journalists are created equally, but some are created more equal than others. Thomas Mayer says that Christian Horner said as follows: at this juncture in time, we believe that Liam has got the right characteristics, the right strength of character to deal with the pressure that comes with being Max Verstappen's teammate. Oh, the humanity, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes the words, when you read between the lines, will tell you all that you need to know. Ultimately, other reports are saying that the decision was made long before the Yuki Tsunoda post-Abu Dhabi test, that was a misnomer, misdirection even. And we know that because two of the key decision makers in Pierre Vacher and Christian Horner didn't even hang around to see Yuki complete the test in real time. You are not going to tell me if they took Yuki Tsunoda serious as an option to supersede one Checo Perez, the man formerly known as the Mexican Minister of Defense. You can't argue in good faith that Christian Horner and Pierre Vacher, being two of the purse holders, the guys who make the key decisions, nobody can argue in good faith that they wouldn't have hung around. They didn't. They were straight home on the next flight, leaving one Helmut Marko, Dr. Helmut Marko, leader of the Red Bull Junior program, to assess Yuki Tsunoda's chances, his abilities, his technical feedback by himself. And to make matters worse for Yuki Tsunoda, Honda were desperately trying to leverage their influence with a view to get him that seat. Honda on social media were nothing if not compliant. Here's what Honda said. They put the starry-eyed emojis and said that that's great news that Liam Lawson has gotten the promotion as opposed to Yuki Tsunoda. Sometimes in F1, ladies and gentlemen, if your name is Yuki Tsunoda, you cannot buy yourself a break, not even to the tune of $10 million per annum. F1, how do you like it? Then, ladies and gentlemen of the F1 jury, you're not entertained.